Well, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. At una sa lahat, nice kong magpasalamat sa inyong pagdalo at pagsuporta sa ginaganap natin na yearly conference. This year, dalawa yung conference natin. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, yung susunod would be the month of July. And then, last year na ibalik natin o na-introduce natin yung camp. So, by October, November, yung dulo na yun, meron uling camp. So, ang mag-host sa second conference natin ay ang San Pablo, sila Pastor Rodel, and then yung camp, sila Pastor Rene. I hope na patuloy niyong susuportahan ang ganitong gawain. Sa umagang ito, yung pinakamadali yung binigay sa akin, kaya maraming salamat. General understanding of our emotion. Hindi naman ito sermon, kung hindi more definitions. No? Kasi introduction lang to. Ang main session natin, yung susunod, at saka yung after lunch. Okay? So, yun po yung ating nais bigyan ng pansin. At hindi po ako masyadong sa technology, kaya naka-PDF lang yan. So, pero bago ang lahat, muli po tayong humingi ng tulong sa Panginoon. Muli po kaming dumudulog sa inyo, Panginoon, at humihingi ng tulong, lalong-lalo na sa session na ito na we would be defining terms, at sana po makatulong ito upang higit na maunawaan ng bawat isa ang kahalagahan ng katuruan ng iyong mga salita patungkol sa aming affection. May the Spirit be with us and illumine us in our labors for this whole day. In Jesus Christ's name. Amen. So nice kong simulan yung definition using the Wikipedia, yung free encyclopedia, na kung saan ginamit niya yung affection or fondness, at ang naging definition niya is that it is a disposition or a state of mind or body. So doon makikita nyo may malawak na kaagad. As a disposition, a state of mind or body, which is commonly linked to a feeling or type of love. So, itong mga affections na tatalakayin, sinasabi niya is linked to a feeling or type of love. Often, affection denotes more than mere goodwill or friendship. Writers on ethics generally use the word to refer to distinct states of feeling, both lasting and temporary. So, ganun tinitignan. Titignan natin kung ano yung difference niya pagdating sa Bible. But this is the general understanding around us. So, link siya sa feeling or type of love. The word to refer to distinct states of feeling, whether it is lasting or temporary. Sometimes the term is restricted to emotional states directed towards living entities, including humans and animals. Diba? Lalo na ngayon. Nalulungkot nga ako eh. May mga term na fur mummies. Wala pong ganon. No? You do not relate a human person na parang ang anak niya hayop. No? I'm not for that term. I'm not happy for that term. No? Nag-aalaga ka, that's good. No? Ako nag-aalaga. So, but yung nauusong term parang nakakalungkot lang na sabihin na there is a mom na tao na parang ang anak niya ay hayop. But there are feelings, di ba, toward may dog ako na namatay na siya. So, you develop closeness. Parang yun ang sinasabi niya dito. No? There is something that is linked emotionally both for humans and animals. And affection can be communicated by looks, words, gestures, or touches. It conveys love and social connection. Kaya nga, may nagtanong, naalala ko, baka naman LCM yung tinago nyo lang sa tapestry of kasi number 1, February. Tapos ganun yung topic. Malawak po ang affection. In fact, mamaya, papakita ko sa inyo, kulang nga yung 2 session natin Kasi ang Bible, maraming tinutukoy pagdating dyan. So, pangalawang nais nating tignan is yung biblical meaning and usage. So, eto na yung dumadako tayo sa biblical usage. Pasensya na kayo, no? PDF kasi yan. Konting galaw ko naapektuhan. No? Dito medyo komplikado ng konti, mga kapatid. No? Affection kasi originally referred to the upper abdominal large organs of the body, especially the intestines, which the ancient regarded as the seat of affections and emotions, such as anger and love. Kaya nga mapupunan ninyo, the King James translate affection 9 times as bowels. Pero ang gamit noon is referring to affection. Bowels, no? As a reference to the emotion because of the way our emotions can affect how our intestinal organs feel. Kaya pag nasa Old Testament kayo, the Hebrews express their feelings in terms of what they felt in their stomach. So ibang-iba yung kaisipan nila, di ba? Sa atin, kaya nga sa Old Testament, lalo na kung nagki-King James kayo, may encounter nyo yun. Hindi naman ibig sabihin dumi kaagad, Kasi sa atin, pag sinabi mong bowel, parang dumi yan, no? Ano naman relasyon sa feeling niya? Masarap mag-bowel. Sarap ng pakiramdam. So, when they really had some emotion, it turned their stomach, so to speak. So, the Hebrews regarded the affection as the seat of the most tender affections, especially kindness, benevolence, compassion. Sabi nga ni John MacArthur, the Hebrews, means the Jews especially, like many other ancient peoples, express attitudes and emotion in terms of physiological symptoms, not in abstractions. Tayo ngayon, abstract Kunyari yung emotions, di ba? Yung last gathering natin noon ng single, we talk a little bit of that, yung mga emotions na. Pero pag dinidefine natin, for example, yung anger, more abstract yung idea. Pero sa kanila, physiological. As most of us know from personal experience, many intense emotions like anxiety, fear, pity, remorse, and so on directly and often immediately affect the stomach and the digestive tract. Iba yung iba pag nag-worry, iba kung ano yung may mga direct effects sa kanilang stomach. So, ganun nila inintindi yung mga bagay na yun. Kaya yung upset stomach, colitis, and ulcers are a few of the common ailments frequently related to emotional trauma. Sa ating panahon ngayon, yung ulcer, di ba? Yung mga nag-worry, nag-aalala, they develop that. Pero ito yung understanding noon. It is not strange then that the ancient people associated strong emotions with that region of the body. Halimbawa, sabi ni John MacArthur, the heart, ang association niya with the mind and thinking. Okay, nagbigay siya ng mga passages. The heart was the source of thought and action, whereas the bowels were the responder, the reactor. So, yan talaga yung makikita natin sa Bible when it comes to affection. It is really related to the teaching of the Bible concerning love. Mamaya titignan natin yung relationship niya doon sa love. Kasi central sa Christian response sa Diyos at sa kanyang kapwa-tao is love. You shall love the Lord your God with, so babanggitin na doon. Tapos yung neighbor mo rin. So yun talaga yung pinaka-central ethics natin na when God created us in the image of God, the intention of God is related also that we may be the people who would be able to love Him and even love the other people created in our image. Pero yung love na yon, kailangan ma-define clearly. Kasi this world, ang love sa kanila, ang pinaka-foundation noon is attraction. Kaya nga, pag parents mo, kapatid mo, you are naturally attracted sa kanila emotionally. Kung sa church, pag sinabing Reformed, Baptist, kahit hindi tayo magkakilala, parang, di ba, may attraction ka kaagad, parang okay sila. Eh, kung hindi Reformed, medyo, hindi Reformed yan, nagbubulungan pa. So, ibig sabihin, among various denominations, meron kang attraction kahit di mo kilala. O kaya sabihin Christian among non-Christian. Christian ka pala. Para magaan kaagad yung loob mo. Whatever that love is, commonly it's more attraction. Or halimbawa yung mga puppy love, sometimes based sa nakita niya, no? Ang gwapo-gwapo, kinikilig siya. Parang gano'n. So, there is something na, pero lahat siya, attraction. But that is not in the Bible. Pag tinuturo yung love na binigay sa atin, because the love that we have as a Christian, at lahat ng turo ng Bible, is connected with God's love. Titignan natin yung difference niya later on. So, yan po yung nakikita natin na sinabi rin in-affirm ni John MacArthur. But in the New Testament, the word affection, which is always in the plural sa Greek, is used primarily in a figurative manner to describe the inward parts, indicating the heart as the seat of emotions and passions. Okay lang, intindihin natin paano ginagamit paano sila nagsulat. That region was regarded as the seat of passions. Kasi pag sinabi mong, di ba, ginagamit you have to love with all your heart. No? Yung heart organs yun. But what do you mean that I have to love you with all my heart? Kunyari, kayong mga babae, ino-offeran kayo ng lalaki, nagpo-propose, I will love you with all my heart. Ano kayang ibig niya sabihin? Handa kong ibigay ang aking puso sa iyo. Sige nga, eto kutsilyo, pakibigay. Hindi naman natin naiintindihan na ganun yon. Hindi physical. Pero, yung gamit, kahit ng New Testament, is referring to that part. But, which is regarded as the seat of passion, such as affection, sympathy, and compassion, even as the word heart is used figuratively today. Figurative yung use natin nun. I will love you with all my heart. The allusion is to sympathy, tenderness, and love of the Redeemer. Ngayon, yung Greek word used was the strongest Greek word for expressing compassionate love or tender mercy, and involves one's entire being to denote the ardor of one's attachment to another. So, yun yung ginamit. So, nung ginamit yung salita na yon na gusto nating pag-aralan, affection, the Greek word used was the strongest Greek word for expressing a kind of love or tender mercy. No? And it involves, pag binanggit po yun, it involves one's entire being. So pag ginamit sa scripture yun, ang implikasyon nun, it should involve your entire being. It describes the compassion which moves a man dun sa deepest depth of his being. In the Gospels, apart from its use in some of the parables, it is used only of Jesus. So, nakikita nyo, sa Gospels yun. The Apostle Paul used it also many times. No? Tayo, we probably define that, yung pinag-aaralan natin, in terms of feelings lang or emotions. No? So, pag tinignan mo yan, tapestry of affection, we normally define it in terms of feelings or emotions. So, certainly, there is that side or element of it. Pero sa Bible, involved yung buong katauhan, kaya nga yung sikat sa among reformers pagdating sa turo ng affection is Jonathan Edwards. Isang libro talaga. So pagka hinanap niyo yung affections, tapos tinitignan niyo yung mga reform writers, i-quote nila or i-refer sa atin si Jonathan Edwards. And Jonathan Edwards defines affection, religious affection, the inclination of your soul. How your soul is inclined and where it is headed. So yung buong katauhan mo, yung kabuuan mo, saan siya patungo? No, kung patungo sa isang tao na ito, involve yung buong katauhan mo doon. So kung sa Diyos, ganun din. Yung buong katauhan mo. Kasi pag sinabi yung soul, ginamit po yun, yung buong katauhan mo yun. So ganun tinitignan ni Jonathan Edwards yung bagay na yon. And that is what we meant by affection. And the Bible has a great deal to say about affection that the Lord wants us to develop. Dalawa nga lang doon yung itatouch natin ngayon. Yung una, itatouch ni Pastor Rene. Yung pangalawa, itatouch ni Pastor Rodel. Pero kulang na kulang yun. Dahil ang lawak-lawak ng katuruan ng Bible. Kaya nga sinabi ko, the Bible has a great deal to say about affection that the Lord wants us to develop. Siyempre, ang pinakauna dun na nakakaligtaan ng maraming mananampalataya is yung affection nila toward God. What are you doing in order to, for example, develop your love for God, for Jesus Christ, for the Holy Spirit? Samantalang, ang expectation sa Bible is that, especially with regard to the Son, that we will be growing in our affection toward Him. Kaya nga yung inulit sa atin ni Jesus yung turo sa lumang tipan, ano ba yung greatest commandment? love God with. Tapos isa-isahin mo yun. Sasabihin mo, it is really for me to love Him with my whole soul, my whole being sa Diyos. Kung kapareho din nun sa tao, ganun din. Kaya lang, kung hindi naman tayo mag-grow doon sa affection natin sa Diyos, mabagal din talaga na mag-grow yung affection natin in a balanced way toward others. Kahit na sa ating mga magkakapatid, mahirapan tayo. Because it is really rooted in the love that God has brought upon us. So, yun po yung unang kahalagahan ng ating pinag-aaralan. Yung specific Greek word is used 11 times in 11 verses. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na yung konsepto na yon limited lang dun sa mga verses. But yung tinitignan lang natin na paano ginamit yung Greek word, yung strongest Greek word, ganun po. So, ngayon naman ay nais nating tignan yung kinds of affections. So, kinds of affections na nais nating maunawaan sa yan. So, affection is a fundamental dimension in people's life, since it influences our emotions, relationship, and general being. There are different types of affection that manifest themselves in different ways and have different characteristics. So, ito'y galing sa, kung ginagamit yung Quora.com, may similarity ito sa teachings ng mga Bible, kaya binaro ko from Quora.com ang ginawa niyang division. So, siyam yata yan. Yung una, yung filial affection. So, yung filial affection refers to the love and emotional connection that exists between parents and children. It is a type of affection that is characterized by care, protection, unconditional support, and deep emotional bond that unite the members of a family. Ang tawag natin dyan, filial affection. Marami ring turo sa Bible yan. Halimbawa, yung kung kayo yung mga anak, may parents kayo, di ba? Halimbawa, kung yung may mga command, o yung honor your father and your mother, malawak yun. So, anong mga affections ang connected to show honor? Diba? Sa ibang mga kultura, yung expression of love to honor our parents is that whenever they go home or diba, they kiss. Nung buhay pa yung parents ko, ang greeting namin sa parents ko, sa mother ko, tsaka sa father ko is kiss. Kinikiss namin sila, kami magkakapatid. Ganun yung greeting namin. Sa iba is to hug their parents. Iba-iba. Hindi pa ako nakakita na pag nakita niya yung tatay niya, nagkakamayan sila. Baka ganun kayo. Hi Dad! How are you today? O, diba? Wala rin masama. Depende nga, apektado ng kultura. Sa iba nga kung magbeso-beso sila, diba? Parang sa mga, may nakita ko mga Arabo na ilang beses Yung cheek to cheek nila, minsan na 4 na beses. Yung iba naman yung nagaganon. So, baka yung tatay nyo, cowboy, di ba? Hi, Dad! So, but filial love, filial affection. Characteristic of filial affection, unconditional love, care and protection, emotional support, open and respectful communication. Romantic affection, yung pangalawa, romantic affection manifests itself in romantic and romantic relationship. It is characterized by the physical, emotional, intellectual attraction that one feels towards another. Romantic affection involves feelings of passion, tenderness, commitment, and complicity, which strengthen the connection between the members of the couple. Minsan yun ang, ewan ko lang sa inyo, sabi ko nga sa mga, sa isang pag-aaral namin sa church, na husband loves their wives. No? Ang struggle lang ng mga husband is how to show that love, yung commitment nila sa asawa nila, romantically. No? So, pagka may problema po kayo dyan, no, buhay pa po si Pastor Rene, lapitan nyo. Kasi nung lumapit ako sa kanya, sabi sa akin meron akong libro dito, meron akong maliit na guide sa'yo. Sabi ko yan, 1,000 ways to show your love for your wife. So, diba? It's really a struggle, itong romantic. Yung complaint ng ibang asawa, alam mo, Pastor, nanliligaw yan, very romantic. Nung napangasawa na mo na, ewan ko kung nasaan na yun. Diba? So, nag-i-struggle din. So, but yun nga, ang characteristic kasi niya, tignan niyo yung characteristic, emotional intimacy and physical. Complicity and mutual support, tenderness and care, respect and trust. Diba? So, may pangatlo po, brotherly affection. I think ito yata mako-cover ngayon. Madi-develop. Brotherly affection refers to the love and complicity that exists between brothers, no? Tayo more as the children of God. And this type of affection is based on coexistence, companionship, mutual support, and the relationship of trust established between siblings. Brotherly affection is important in the construction of personal identity, since brothers tend to be a source of emotional and social support throughout life. So, kung healthy yung family, yung mga magkakapatid, diyan nadi-develop, diyan nagkakatulungan, diyan nagko-construct, sabi nung may akda, yung kanilang personal identity. So there is trust and loyalty, mutual support, close and open communication. The fourth is friendly affection. Friendly affection is manifested in friendship relationship where there is an emotional connection and an emotional bond between friends. And this type of affection is characterized by trust, mutual support in difficult times, sharing interests and hobbies, having fun together. So, siguro kayo alam niyo yan. So, wala naman siguro magsasabi dito na everybody wants me to be their friend, but I have no friend at all. So, parang a man living in an island. Kaya, I assume, lahat kayo naintindihan niyo yung friendship. Affection, dito sa world, primarily, malakas yung attraction. You're attracted to this person. Either dahil sa kanyang magandang ugali, or yung pagsuporta sa inyo, or yung loyalty niya, yung pagka nasa difficult situation ka, naaasahan siya. Or yung iba, sharing interests and hobbies. Naging magkakaibigan sila because they share hobbies. Or having fun together. Yung iba, yung fun nila is maybe mountain climbing. So, nag-organize sila, magkakaibigan sila. So, dahil meron silang interest that they are able to share together. So, meron ding mga ganon. And then, you have the paternal affection, which refers to love, protection, and emotional support that a father provides to his children. And this type of affection is characterized by loving authority, guidance, care, active presence of the father in the lives of his children. So, dito maraming problema sa mga tahanan. Kaya nga, nais nating kayong mga singles, dapat bago kayo makapag-asawa, matuto kayo kung ano yung mga itinuturo ng salita ng Diyos patungkol dyan. Kasi pagka nandyan na kayo, baka mahirapan kayo. Kasi biglang papasok na yung anak. No? So kaya minsan yung tinignan natin, yung romance nawawala, napunta na dun sa anak. Pero hindi na mabalance lahat. Mabilis minsan yung transition sa buhay. So, but ito yung mas directed sa father. Active presence niya, participation in raising children. Hindi dapat iniiwan lang sa nanay. Kasi sa society natin, ewan ko kung hanggang ngayon ganun pa rin yung mga Pilipino, matriarchal siya. No? Parang yung tatay, tagadala ng pera, yung nanay, bahala sa lahat ng issue sa bahay, pati sa mga bata. Tapos yung mga tatay, minsan hands off. Puro, tanong mo kay ma'am, sa ma'am mo, tanong mo sa kanya, punta mo si ma'am, mag-usap kayo. No? Kung may problema, gusto niya kausapin yung tatay o guidance, wala. Sabi rito, paternal affection is fundamental, ayan, tandaan nyo, in the emotional and psychological development of children as it provides them with security, clear limits, and a model of positive behavior. So, emotional support is unconditional, kaya kung nararanasan ng anak yan sa kanyang ama, nagkakaroon sila ng magandang communication. 6, meron ding tinatawag na maternal affection, which refers to love, tenderness, and care that a mother gives to her children. Di ba nabanggit din sa scripture yan, as a mother cares. This is how you should care. It is a type of affection characterized by protection, emotional support, empathy, and deep connection that exists between a mother and her children. So you have there the characteristic, tenderness, constant care, empathy and emotional understanding, protection and emotional security, unconditional support at all times. And then the 7th is yung professional affection is manifested in work and professional relationship, where there is an emotional bond based on respect, trust, collaboration, and empathy between co-workers. So, this type of affection is important for the work environment, teamwork, and well-being of employees. Di ba ngayon may mga nauso na yung mga team building sa mga opisina. Di ko alam, wala akong idea kung ano talaga yung focus ng team building. But I'm hoping it is to improve the work and professional relationship. And it provides a space of emotional support and collaboration in the work environment. So, Marami ring nag-struggle na Christian dyan, especially kung hindi mga believers yung kasama mo, yun ang struggle nila. But that should be addressed. Characteristic, mutual respect, collaboration and teamwork, empathy and understanding in difficult work situations, emotional support in the work environment. Pag wala ito, ang laki ng trouble sa relationship ng boss or supervisor tsaka yung mga ordinary worker. Ganun na nangyayari. So, ina-address yan ng mga kumpanya dahil nakikita nila yung importance niya. And then, you have the social effect na tinatawag. Ito yung mga nadagdag lately, dalawa, ang tawag social affect. First time ko siya na-encounter, but sabi diyan, social affect refers to the emotional connection and emotional bond that is established between individuals in social context, such as organization, communities, or social group. This type of affection is characterized by solidarity, mutual support, empathy, and collaboration between people who share common interests, values, or goals. Ano yung value niya? Social affection is essential to promote collective well-being, social cohesion, and a sense of belonging in the community. Di ba meron yan? Remember ka ng Barangay Tagay. Tuwing Sabado ng gabi. No? Doon sa amin, pag Sabado na, alam ko na, yung tropang walang atrasan sa inuman, maglalabasan na yun. So, yun lang, doon lang sila nagmi-meet kasi mga nag-work sila. So, kaya nga ngayon, meron ng, dahil nagko-complain yung iba sa ingay, meron ng tinatawag na curfew. No? Mga 10 o'clock dapat wala nang ganun. Pag nasa labas ka. So, social, kung ano man yung social na, yung iba naman, yung mga kababaihan sa mga barangay, pag Sabado, nagsasama-sama sila, alam niya na, nagsasayaw. No? Wala naman napayat. No? Lalo nagtatabaan. Kasi pag katapos sila mag-zumba, pag-post, nasa restaurant, kakainan. So, pero ang habol lang talaga siguro yung emotional connection and bond between individual. Siyempre, iniisip ko nga nun, ba't matatanda yung nandyan sa Kasi sila normally naiiwan eh. Di ba from Monday to, sa subdivision namin, halimbawa, nung mag-house to house ka doon during the day, puro mga nanay nila, puro matatanda. No? Kaya ako yung mga naging Bible study ko sa subdivision namin, puro matanda. At lahat sila namatay na. No? So, kasi nga, yung mga, mga common subdivisions ngayon, mga bumili nun, mga working, di ba? Kaya, hindi ka talaga, kahit magbigay ka ng truck, wala man tao. So, abutan mo lang, matanda, na hindi na nagtatrabaho. So, minsan naghahanap sila ng social interaction. Yan, siguro yung sinasabi ng social affect. No? Social cohesion, a sense of belonging in the community. Hindi naman talaga sila nagpapapayat. Kaya lang, nagkakaroon sila ng mga amiga ron. No? Kaya bihira yung lalaki dun eh. You know? Lalakwe, baka na meron. No? And then, yung pangalawa, na medyo bago sa pagtingin ko, yung tinatawag na self-directed affect. Self-directed affect refers to the love, compassion, and care that a person feels towards themselves. It is a type of affection that is fundamental in personal development, emotional well-being, and self-esteem, since it involves accepting, valuing, and treating oneself with kindness and compassion. Self-directed affect is essential to cultivating a healthy relationship with oneself, and promoting self-knowledge, emotional resilience, and self-love. Nung binabasa ko to, first encounter ko kasi siya, iniisip ko, pagbaba ko sa amin, may salaming na malaki. Hi, Joey, you look good today. So, kasi parang to love, compassion, and care for yourself, Or, kung mag-snack ako, favorite ko is ice cream and hamburger. Kaya lang diabetic na ako, kaya puro hamburger na lang. Wala na yung ice cream So, you treat di ba may mga ganon? Kasi narinig ko minsan na, saan ka galing? I treated myself today. So, saan ka nagpunta? Nag-ukay-ukay ako? Di ba? Parang sa kanya, parang naririnig ko na yan yung mga, how you should also treat yourself well. Minsan, once a month, pupunta ka sa mga spa, di ba? Or ayan. Naririnig ko na. Ewan ko kung, I'm not dogmatic about that, pero kasi nga, ngayon ko lang na-encounter itong dalawa na to, itong social direct, tsaka yung self-direct. Affect, So, kaya lang, sinishare ko nga sa inyo, although bago sa akin yung idea, na meron ng in-include na ganito. Nung una kasi yung 8 lang. Pero yung self-directed affect and itong tinatawag na social affect. So yan po mga kapatid, yung what is in this world. So, in summary, different types of affection play a crucial role in our interpersonal relationship, our emotional well-being, and our overall quality of life. I agree with that. Recognizing, valuing, and cultivating these manifestations of love, affection, and emotional support helps us strengthen our emotional ties. It promotes our emotional well-being and build positive and meaningful relationship in our life. So ganyan, tinitignan ng world, yung ang gumawa nito, mga either psychologists but that's the way the world has now considered the various kinds of affections. And in Scripture, you will encounter mamaya yung dalawang i-develop ng dalawa nating mga mahuhusay na pastor, na makikita natin. But bago po ako magtapos, ay nais kong banggitin lang yung kahalagahan dahil sumasakop nga dun sa definition na tinignan natin. There is a connection, yung affection na malaki sa turo ng Bible concerning love. Napakalaga. Deep relationships involve deep affections. Diba? Kung sabihin mong lumalago ang pagkakakilala ko sa Panginoon, ang relasyon ko sa Kanya, if it is going deeper, normally, yung affections mo, kumpara sa iba, ibang-iba din. Pero dun sa ibang Kristiyanong hindi wino-work out yun sa kanilang buhay, iba rin yung makikita mo sa kanila. So sa relationship natin sa church, ganun din. Sa marriage, ganun din. Kaya nga, napakalaga na lalo kayong single, dapat hindi kayo mahihiya na umattend ng mga session ng mga Christian about love, courtship, or marriage. Because yan ang mahalagang magiging or kakaharapin or challenge nyo. So bakit? Naku, yan na naman. Hindi, napakahalaga niyan sa salita ng Diyos. Dapat magabayan kayo dyan. Kung tutusin nga ako, mas gusto ko na, kasi isipin ninyo, isa lang talaga yung direct command ng Lord. Pagdating sa seeking someone, kung kalooban ng Diyos na you get married, diba? Ano yun? No? Na hindi mo pwedeng i-compromise. Hindi ka pwede sa unbeliever. Sa believer lang. Doon ka lang mag-establish ng ganong relationship. Kaya nga, hindi ko alam kung matatalakay mamaya yan. Mahalaga yon sa atin, sa inyong mga singles. Kaming tatlong pastor, kung pwede nga lang matulungan namin kayo maging magkakaibigan. Kasi saan ka maghahanap? Or sino i-consider mo? Minsan, may church, may puro baba. Karamihan sa church kasi mga babae, di ba? O pag lalaki, minsan, kamag-anak mo pa. Mga kapatid mo. O di ba? Yung mga anak ng mga believers, minsan, magkakapatid, member ng church, nagdalaga, nagano. Ang gagwapo pisang ko yun. Ang ganun. Or, very godly. Kapatid ko yan, very godly ka dyan. So, parang ganun. So, huwag po kayo mahiya kung magkaroon tayo ng ganung activity. Dumalo kayo. Mahalaga yon dahil yung ginagawa natin, kalooban ng Diyos yun. May binigay na turo ang Diyos doon, kalooban ng Diyos yun. Kaya nga ako doon sa church namin, siguro hindi pa alam ng mga member, magkakaroon ako ng once a month Bible study with the single on the topic of work and LCN. Kasi nandun na sila sa ganong age, ng ganon. So, kailangan gabayan ko sila. Kailangan magkaroon ako ng oversight pagdating sa pagharap nila sa work. Nagkakaroon na ng work yung iba, nag-graduate na, and siyempre patungo rin sila dun sa love, courtship, or marriage, or singlehood. May include din doon. So, hindi dapat katakutan yon, hindi dapat mahiya na umattend sa mga ganon. Napakahalaga nun. Lalo na kayo nung single. Nung time namin nila rin masaya kami basta may LCF. No? Ngayon may pastor, baka naman LCM yung topic na inisip nyo. Tapestry pa kayo of affection. Hindi po. Malawak po. But, as I mentioned to you, in closing, gusto ko lang banggitin yung difference ng tinatawag na pag-ibig na tinutukoy natin. Kasi, Christian love is very different. Sabi ko nga, kung the love that is in view in the Bible cannot be experienced or exercised apart from the miraculous, gracious power of Jesus Christ. Kasi yung inihiling ng Bible is a love that comes from God. Kaya nga nung minsan may kinasal ako, speaker ako sa kasal, pareho silang believer, very easy for me to talk about husband loving their wife. Pag hindi kasi yung love doon is not the way the world talks about it, which is attraction. Kung wala nang attraction na lalabi sa inyo, maghiwalay na kayo. But the Bible never talks about that. Kaya nga, may kakasal, parehong unbeliever. How can I exhort them? Husband loves your wife. Wife, submit to you. As Christ loved the church. Walang sense. Hindi nila magiget talaga yun. Kasi number one, wala sila nun. We're not talking about something that is natural or instinctive. The love that is required of us sa Bible does not reside in any human heart by nature. It is the love that comes from God. It is the love produced in the human heart through their faith in Jesus Christ. Yun ang tandaan yung difference natin. No, yung love na tinutukoy diyan, huwag niyong isipin yung idea ng world na masyado nakafocus. It involved a little bit of attraction, pero pag pinag-usapan na natin yung love na tinuturo, iba yan sa kasi we know love naturally in terms merely of attraction and people. We are attracted to our parents, to our siblings, to our offspring. No? Kaya nga ang tawag dyan, family love. Yung pinag-aralan natin, friendship love. O yung sa office. And then later, there can be a sexual attraction. But that attraction becomes a very important element lamang in marital love. Kaya may play siya, pero sa mundo, wala. Diba? But remember, all these kinds of love na tatalakayin, dalawa tatalakayin ng speakers nating susunod, is not rooted in natural attraction, but more yung love na itinuturo, binigay sa atin ng Panginoon. So what is love? Yung isang pinanghawakan ko ng matagal, nung una, dinidefine ko lang yung love base sa understanding ko sa ginawa ni Christ. Christian love is the giving of oneself for the good of others. Kasi si Jesus, binigay niya yung kanyang buong sarili para sa ikaliligtas ko, sa ikabubuti ng aking kaluluwa, ng buong pagkatao. But later on, I adopted Dr. Robert P. Martin's definition, which helped me understand yung iba't ibang tawag ng love doon sa Bible. Like, you have to love your enemies. Parang nahirapan sila. How can you love your enemies, di ba? Yung who persecute you, who say bad things about you. Kaya nag-struggle tayo. But, bago namatay si Pastor Bob, sabi niya, kasi, matagal niyang pinag-iisipan, matagal niyang dinidevelop kung ano yung pinakamaganda. Ito lang, year 2020, bago siya namatay, nabuo niya. So, napakinggan ko siya. At magmula nun, yun yung inadapt ko. Yung short version niya is, Christian love is a commitment appropriate to the relationship in view. So, sabi niya, commitment yan, hindi yan feeling or emotion. Tapos, it is a commitment appropriate to the relationship in view. Ano yung relationship in view? It may be marital, it may be brotherly. So, iko-commit mo yung sarili mo, hihilingin ng Bible. Love your brothers. Di ba? Mamahalin mo. Ngayon, ang hahanapin mo sa Bible, ano yung affection na appropriate doon sa relationship? Yung kabuuang definition niya is this. Christian love is a commitment appropriate to the relationship in view, and that commitment is accompanied by the affection appropriate to that relationship as much as possible. Kaya, ano yung appropriate doon sa relationship na yun? So, nakuha nyo. Again, I repeat it, baka interesado kayo sa kanyang pananaw. Kasi para sa akin, yan yung nakatulong para ma-define ko paano yung gagawin ko kung I have to love my neighbor, ganito yung ugali niya. Ano ba yung affections na appropriate para dito sa neighbor ko? So, kaya so ulitin ko lang, baka kasi maging interested yung iba sa inyo, sa definition ni Dr. Robert Martin, madalas pumunta nung buhay o madalas nandito yun sa nakakasama namin nila Pastor Rene. Christian love is a commitment appropriate to to the relationship in view. And that commitment is accompanied by the affection appropriate to that relationship as much as possible. So ang duty natin, pagdating sa affections natin, ano ba yung sinasabi ng Bible na love na dapat ibigay natin? Ano yung relationship na yon? So kung brotherly yon, ito yon, ang iisipin mo, ano yung affection appropriate doon? Kung marital naman, ano yung appropriate na affection na dapat mong ipakita doon? So, halimbawa, yung enemies, paano mo ipapakita yung kunyari na-encounter mo Luke 6:27, but I say to you here, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who spitefully use you. Mapupunan nyo, love your enemies. Diba? Pero may mga tulong nang binigay mismo si Lucas. Do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who spitefully use you. Kasi if love is fundamentally a feeling of warm attachment and affection, how are you going to do that to your enemy? You cannot. Diba? You cannot. But if love is a principled commitment, appropriate to the relationship, pwede yun by the grace of God. Ang tanong mo na lang, what commitment does God require that we make to our enemies? Well, the Bible is very clear. We must be committed sa ating enemy to bless them and not to curse them. Nakukuha nyo na. Yun yung appropriate. Diba? We must be committed to pray for them. We must be committed that we will not avenge ourselves of the wrong. So, hanapin mo sa Scripture. Ano yung pwede mong i-apply na ma-commit siya? We would do them good as a commitment. So, ano yung affection that we should have? Pity, compassion. Diba? Because that person, sabi ng Lord, vengeance is mine. Kung ginagawang kanya ng harm, wala ka namang diba? Sabi nga ni Jonathan Edwards, it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of an angry God. So kung alam mo yan, ang gagawin mo? Ano mo sa kanya? Affection mo, di ba? Pity. Because in hating us, He introduced in His soul something that is poisoning His own soul. And one day, He has to answer to God in the last day. And surely we can pity Him, have compassion on Him. And that is one example of the love that we can give to the enemy. So, kaya sabi ko, natulungan ako ng malaki yung ginawang definition ni Dr. Bob na nabuo niya bago siya pumunta na sa Panginoon. At yun yung ginagamit ko. And I hope that would help you. And we'll have a break after this, and then with these definitions, with these informations, kung ano yung pananaw ng mundo, we'll go directly to two important sections of this tapestry of affection. And I hope God will use it to strengthen these two areas na pinili namin i-address sa ating conference. So, I hope nakatulong sa inyo yung mga terminology. No? Tayo magpasalamat sa ating Panginoon at ipanalangin na patuloy tayong tulungan ng Panginoon as we go directly to some specific topics. Marami pong salamat, Panginoon, sa tulong na ibinigay mo sa amin upang maunawaan namin paano tinitignan din ng ibang tao ang issue ng affection at ganun din pagdating sa salita mo. At ngayon ng makikinig kami sa dalawang specific areas na tatalakayin. Patuloy kaming umaasa, Panginoon, na ang mga katuruan ay huhubog pa sa amin dahil inaamin po namin, Panginoon, na in terms of relationship, marami kaming struggle sa aming buhay, marami kaming katanungan sa aming buhay dahil it's a reality that it is indeed problematic. Even among Christians, nakikita namin, naririnig namin, paminsan-minsan kung ano nangyayari sa church, yung mga ilang kaguluhan doon. At sana po, Panginoon, ay patuloy nyo kaming tulungan, lalong-lalo na ang mga singles na ito who will be the future of the Reformed Baptist churches to really receive great blessings from the 2 sessions that will follow. We commit ourselves to you. Help us in understanding your word in Jesus Christ's name.